Hello everyone, welcome to another video. And from today, we are going to start one of the important core subject of civil engineering, named as contracts and accounts. We will try to cover entire subject with the significant topics and their some main points. So let's begin with the first chapter, which name is PWD procedure to execute the work. So in this today's video, I will explain you about administrative setup that has been followed in a PWD, functions of each PWD personals, some basic concept that we must needs to know about PWD, methods of PWD to execute the work. So there are two methods mainly, contract method and departmental method. About both method I will explain it further. So in today's video we will oversee these points, and in next video we will see another points. So in today's video we will see till basic concepts, and remaining points will be covered by me in first videos in part 2. So let's see about basic information about PWD. As we know, as a civil engineer, we have to work in several government sectors. These government departments mainly known as a water supply department, PWD, public health department, irrigation department, electricity department, etc. Each department has their own works. So as like these departments, the main significant department is PWD, which is named as Public Work Department. Public work department has a glorious history, and it has mainly two types, as same as like another departments such as central PWD and state PWD. So the PWD's administrative setup, which has been commonly followed in almost each state of India, is given here. Here you can see the government is at this in this setup. Government is at on a top level. So the government is a policy maker, and the important segment between the government and rest member is secretary of government. After the secretary of government, the head of this organizational setup is chief engineer. Chief engineer is directly responsible to the government for the execution of major works. If state is so large and works are also if state is large and workload is too much, then along with the chief engineer, regional chief engineers, deputy chief engineers, etc. can also be appointed. So after chief engineer, one of the next PWD personnel is superintending engineer. So for the convenience, a superintending engineer is appointed on each of these circles. So after this superintending engineer, the next is executive engineer. Generally, executive engineer is appointed on district level. Executive engineer, if workload is more, then along with executive engineer, we can also appoint deputy executive engineer. After executive engineer, the one of the important post is assistant executive engineer, which is also known as subdivisional engineer. This engineer is mainly appointed over the subdivisions under the executive engineer's control. And after that, junior engineer, which is also known as site engineer. Junior engineer is responsible for the execution of work, and under his control supervisor works, and supervisor execute the work by skilled workers, semi-skilled and unskilled laborers. For each of these individuals we will see their functions in next point. So let's begin with chief engineer. Chief engineer or CE is the head of administrative setup of PWD. He has some important functions. These functions are: first one is to give administrative approval to the work under his control. Second one, to purchase livestock of rupees 30,000 at only one time. Third one is to check a revenue of department with the help of account officers. Fourth one, to prepare annual budget estimate pertaining the work within his power. And last one, to keep close watch over the execution of work. So this is very short works, but along with that, chief engineer has many large functions which can you for better study you can refer PWD's website. Here you can see where you can see main functions of chief engineer. But as a point of view of exam, you can but as a point of view of exam you can write these functions, so that we will get a basic introduction about the functions of chief engineer. Now let's see about superintending engineer. As I said earlier about superintending engineer, it is to be appointed on circle of the state, and superintending engineer has some prominent functions. As same as like chief engineer, he has also rights to give administrative approval and he has also right to give technical sanction to the estimate within his power. Technical sanction is solely under his control. His her superintending engineer's function is to arrange payment for stores and materials, inspect the work whichever in his circle. His last function is to inspect division in his circle and report it to chief engineer. So these are some prominent functions of superintending engineer. Now let us say executive engineer, which is mainly appointed on a district level. The executive engineer generally invites tender for the district works, and execution of work is directly under his control. Executive engineer is directly responsible for project design, estimate, etc. His work is to inspect subdivisional office once in a year. He has to ensure accounts are properly maintained or not, and also tools, plants, and equipments are maintained or not. Now let's see about assistant executive engineer, which is also called as subdivisional engineer. His function is execution of work, to prepare monthly report on progress of work and report it to senior authorities. Physical verification of MB. What is MB? So MB is referred as measurement book. We will see about it in accounts in PWD. And dead stock. His next function is to check muster roll. Muster roll is usually a documentary in which work done by casual laborers is recorded, and their attendance is also recorded in muster roll. Now let's see about basic concept that must needs to know in accounts and contracts. First one is the administrative approval. So the administrative approval is a formal acceptance given by the department for the execution of any work. Simply, if I'm going to talk about construction of any government work, firstly, governments carried out a basic survey, and in which they ensures that work is really feasible or necessary. If they ensure that work is really necessary, then a proposal is presented in department, after which if and departments also get ensured that work is also feasible and can be required, then administrative approval is given by that respective authority. So these are some points that I explains you in today's video. In next video we will see some other basic concepts, and then departmental and contract methods, mostly followed by PWD. Thanks for watching this video. If you are new on channel, then subscribe the channel and like.